Hey guys, Tiago with Classical Technology here. Today we're going to be looking at some exciting new products from Bequiet. They sent me over their newest case. This is going to be the Purebase 500FX and some of their new cooling products. The biggest difference here, we're going to have RGB. As you can see right behind me, I have one of their fans working. These are some beautiful fans. And finally, they've paired them with all of their cooling, like their air coolers and also their AIO, as well as have them integrated into this case. To celebrate their 20th anniversary, they told me to tell you guys that they're going to have discounts up to September 30th, starting now, August 1st, all the way to September 30th. You'll get up to $30 off. For example, this case originally supposed to be $149 US. That's going to be $119. So you guys can take advantage of that as well. And of course, I'd like to thank Bequiet for sending me these products in order for me to evaluate. So let's get started taking a look at what they have to offer. So first, let's quickly talk about the common product amongst everything else, amongst the coolers and the case, and that's going to be their fans. This one here, for example, and there's one running behind me. These have been out for a little while now, and now of course they're going to pair them with their other products. These have some really good performance, and I think the aesthetics are understated and they look really, really good. If you want to have just a single ring as these have with very understated lighting, I really love sort of the very refined look that they give to a build. But if RGB isn't necessarily your thing and you just want full maximum performance, they're also releasing the Silent Wings 4 fans, including the Pro model that goes up to 3000 RPM. Now, if you want an even more understated look without RGB, these are going to look absolutely amazing, and more importantly, they're going to perform really, really well. They're much more optimized for radiators now compared to Silent Wings 3. As you can see from their design, they definitely look very, very unique. Even the PWM connector is really different than what we're used to. Everything is super high quality. It comes in similar packaging if you're used to the Silent Wings 3, but of course when you actually open up the fan and take a look at it, completely different. And of course the performance now matches some of the other top fans on the market. So these are certainly very exciting. You also have a little slider on the back if you don't want to control your fan speed through some type of PWM software or your motherboard. You can have variable speed settings for your fan depending on how much noise you can tolerate. Of course, if you're blasting 3000 RPM, they're certainly going to be very audible, as most high performance fans are, even though the noise profile and the actual sound from these fans really not that bad at all. But you can keep it at one of the lower settings, still get great performance, especially with static pressure on radiators, without being extremely noisy. So let's take a look at some unique things about this case. Now the Purebase 500 came out a while back. I did a build in it. It's a nice small case. Of course, it's still an ATX case. It's not mini ITX or anything like that. You could call it maybe like a mid tower. I think this is probably a perfect size for a case. After all, with the GPUs getting bigger and bigger, and especially with RTX 4000 coming out, you're going to need something that's going to be able to fit some of these really beefy GPUs. Even now, you can get a 3070 that has a very, very big and thick cooler. Not to mention the 3080s and 3090s, 3090 Ti's have particularly large coolers, and these are going to fit in this case without an issue. Of course, another really big thing that Bequiet has certainly improved over the years is going to be the airflow in the case. In the past, they wanted to control the noise levels by having the case very closed off, having thick side panels and noise dampening. The idea here was using their Silent Wings fans, that you can run the fans basically at 100 RPM and they wouldn't really be that audible and maintain some good airflow through the case even though it's closed. But now I think with cases like this, you definitely are going to get much better thermal performance, especially on these really, really hot running GPUs, with having a nice mesh panel and really a nice path of airflow through the case, coupled with the fans that are much improved now. If you throw some of those new Silent Wings 4 in here, that's going to be some incredible performance, especially with the mesh panel. So that's something very important that I look for in a case like this. I want to make a note about these Bequiet cases. Before they even sent me these cases to take a look at, I used to get them myself. In fact, my first one was a Purebase 900. My first reaction to it was really, really impressive. After building in several regular cases that really became kind of cookie cutter, when I experienced that first Bequiet case, I was extremely impressed, not only with the build quality of the materials, but how everything was engineered a little bit different. For example, the Purebase 900, you can invert the motherboard. You had many little touches that you can see they put a huge amount of effort into actually designing these cases, and I'm happy to say that build quality and attention to details continues in all of these products. When you open up the box and actually build in one of these cases, you guys will see see what I'm talking about. It certainly is a great pleasure building in something that's this high quality. Of course, this case also has all of the new advantages of modern cases, such as USB-C Type-C. You're going to have that also on the front panel. And of course, it has the included ARGB and fan hub as well to accommodate the fans that it comes included with. It's going to come with a total of 4 included 120 millimeter light loop fans, and those all connect to that PWM hub, which you can in turn connect it to your motherboard if you want to control it that way. Integrate it with your own system RGB, like if you have, an Asus motherboard, you can use Aura Sync, for example. So definitely a very, very nice touch. And at the end of the day, this is one of my favorite sized cases to build in, because if you have to move it around or place it on a desk, it becomes much, much simpler. And with a nice open design, it just makes building in it as well as future upgrades very, very nice to do. You have plenty of options in terms of what coolers to use. Their Purerock 2 FX, it's going to come with one of the light loop fans, and you can see it's a very, very attractive cooler, has really nice fins on it. The performance is great. Of course, if you're going to be doing some heavy overclocking, maybe like a 12900K, you can always do their bigger air cooler like the Dark Rock Pro 4, or maybe even use one of the AIOs that they have now, the Pure Loop. But overall, this is going to manage most CPUs and very easy to install. They have a very nice installing mechanism, and the build quality, once again, really is quite stellar. And a while back, they also came out with their AIOs. This is going to be their Pure Loop line. Now, you guessed it, the biggest difference is they're going to have their RGB fans included as well. With this particular 240 millimeter one, you're going to get 2 more fans included. So that would pretty much round out a case like this. You have the fans already on the front, one in the back, and you could probably place this right on the top with the light loop fans. You would have a complete setup of what used to be expensive to get RGB fans for a fairly reasonable price if you consider you're getting the AIO and the case included with fans as well. If you think about the pricing structure, when you get really high quality fans included with the case and with the AIO, that makes it a lot easier to budget for your build. Imagine if you have to pay a lot already for the case and then for the AIO, and then you have to go out and get better fans because the ones that it comes included with aren't good. In this case, they come with great fans. These are fans I would go out and individually buy myself in order to put into my builds. So that's definitely going to be a huge bonus. They perform great, and now they look really nice with that RGB. It's very understated, like I said. You can see it running behind me. It gives it a very elegant look. Even if you're not the biggest fan of RGB everywhere, this, trust me, it's very understated, and you can do whatever color you want, a single color, just to accentuate the other components in your build. So overall, to celebrate their 20th anniversary, this is definitely a great combination of products. You have some that are sort of being refined and added new features to them. Mainly the RGB now comes included, which for Bequiet, for a long time, they didn't have RGB fans. It was their regular Silent Wings fans. So now you can get the best of both worlds. You can get that Bequiet performance as well as a really nice aesthetic look. And on the other end of the spectrum, you also get those new Silent Wings 4, like the Pro fans, which are going to be very high performance. They're basically very focused on performance. They don't have RGB or anything like that, the Pro versions. And of course, with those, you're really going to be looking for the maximum that you can get. And in my opinion, you can do an absolutely beautiful build with these type of fans. Aside from the great performance, it's going to look absolutely amazing, sort of with their very unique design. I really haven't seen a fan designed quite like this. Everything's nice and squared off, nice and blocky. That's going to look very aggressive in a really cool build. So I want to thank Bequiet once again for sending me these products to take a look. Congratulations on their 20th anniversary. Remember, you'll be able to get them for a nice discount up to September 30th. You're going to get about $30 off, for example, like on the case, as well as some nice discounts on the other coolers that they came out with. So remember to check it out. Let me know down in the comments if you're planning to do a build with one of these. I'd love to see how they come out with different creativity that people can put together. So remember to subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.